Would you like an opinion on a financial matter you're dealing with? Whether it's about retirement, investments, taxes, or 401ks, Scott Hansen and Pat McClain would like to help you by answering your call. To join Allworth's Money Matters, call now at 833-99-WORTH. That's 833-99-WORTH.
Welcome to Allworth's Money Matters. Scott Hansen.
Pat McClain.
Super glad you are joining our program today as we talk about financial matters.
Yes. We take calls and try to help people.
Yeah. And I got to say, we're in the studio. I just got a text right before we started recording. My nephew married a girl from Colombia. They actually met. They were in a program where he wanted to learn Spanish and she wanted to learn English.
Okay.
And they were matched, and they were doing all these Zoom or whatever technology they're using to help teach one another.
Okay.
And fell in love. She moved to the States. They got married. And today, I just got a text. She just became a U.S. citizen.
Oh, congratulations to our Colombian friend.
I don't know. I was excited. I'm super excited for my nephew.
How old are they?
Late 20s.
And they got married already?
Yeah. Married. She's a U.S. citizen. I love that. What a great country.
It is.
Anyway.
Have you ever been to Colombia?
No, but I'd like to go sometime.
My oldest went a number of times.
A number of times? What do you mean a number of times?
He was living in Ecuador, so he would just go there, and he said it was beautiful. Although he did tell me the third time he was stopped by the police officer one day, because he's a white guy with red hair, so he stands out in Colombia. He said the third time he was stopped driving his car for the shakedown of the money, he just told the guy no.
Oh.
This was probably 10 years
He was in college at the time.
He was in college. He was studying there for
It reminds me of...
He was studying in Ecuador for 5
reminds me of...
But I said, what do you mean you told him no? He said in Spanish, I said to the guy, you're number 3. I don't have any more money to give you guys, so you're going to have to go away.
That's the kind of normal drill there.
Yeah, well, it was then. I don't know what it's like now.
Reminded, years ago, I was doing some financial planning with a couple. Looking through their finance, when they could retire, and we're talking about their 3 children. And, just my first child, he's got this great job, and they're saving in their 401k. And the second child, this great job. But our middle child is just somewhere in Latin America. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, he'll take a little job for a month or two to get enough money to just travel, and he'll backpack and camp out wherever. And I said, wow, interesting. How long has he been doing this? It's like 3 years. For like 3 years, he's lived this lifestyle. And I remember saying, maybe he's got this figured out. We're all sitting there worried about our finances. He's just enjoying himself down.
Just like, maybe he's the right one. Well, it depends.
Maybe not quite.
Maybe there's
there's part of me a little romanticized about it. Wouldn't it be nice to be a minimalist? Yeah. I'm going to be a minimalist as soon as I get everything I want.
Easy enough.
Right. I'm kidding.
Perfect.
On that. Anyway,
Perfect.
I don't know why I brought that up.
Well, that was nice. U.S. citizen. You got another U.S.
Just
citizen.
got the text right as we're starting.
Did they live in California?
Yeah, Central Coast.
And do they both gainfully employed?
Yeah, they work. He runs I think maybe a little hamburger shop that he took over from his father.
Oh.
I don't know if he might own it now. I think he just bought a second condo.
Oh, good for him.
He's one of those that saves everything and
good for him.
Works nonstop.
Good for him.
He's got a Colombian wife who's now a U.S. citizen. So
Very
pretty
nice.
Cool. Pretty cool. Anyway.
The technology.
Technology?
Yeah, this was driven by technology.
Oh, yeah. How they met each other.
Yeah, it was technology. They weren't even trying to meet. They were trying to learn a foreign
And of course,
language.
originally, most of the family was like, what? Who's this? What? Is this like a real thing here? Apparently is. Now she's a U.S. citizen, and she could vote.
All right. Well,
I sent her all the things I wanted her to vote for. In this
is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to send it to her this afternoon. Here's how I want you to vote. This proposition that's coming up in California. Vote this way, please.
Before we move on to the bulk of the show, is there any other family members you'd like to discuss? You want to talk about, or maybe a pet?
Do
you still have that little dog?
So the date this airs on the 26th of July. We recorded it ahead of time. So on this day, I will be in Colorado with my daughter, who's running an ultra marathon, a 100-kilometer trail run. It's supposedly one of the toughest ones in the nation.
Are you running it?
Elevation. I'm crewing for her, so I'll be there at the aid stations, and then I'm running the last 15 miles. She could have a pacer. They call us pacers. The last 15 miles, and I'll bring
So
her.
she's running 65 miles?
60. Yeah, I think it is 65. I was 62 is 100K, but I think this is a 65-mile race in the mountains. And you call it a running. There's so much climbing. You're hiking all the uphills, and she'd practiced in some of or trained in some of it. And she said there's one section, like the steepest mountain she's climbed. It's not rope climbing, but it's so steep that you can't really even run down it. So it's a slow course.
Sounds miserable.
But it's. I'm watching my daughter go through this.
I used to do that crap.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I ran 100-miler
all in one day.
10 years ago. Yeah, in under 24 hours. Western States 100.
Because a client recommended it, didn't they?
No. I mean, my client encouraged me.
And then met you at the finish line. I remember
Was there?
that.
Yeah.
That's a good client.
Super good client. Great guy.
Yeah. All the clients should be there to actually cheer you on whatever you do.
So that's my. Would you like me to continue with my children?
No. Let's go. Let's do the show.
It is kind of wild, though. You know, it's funny as you have kids that become adults, and there's certain qualities and traits that you've passed on that you like in them, and there's certain qualities and traits that you pass on that, dang it, I wish they didn't get that part of me.
Yes. Wait till you get to the generation skipping qualities and traits. Like your grandkids.
Yeah, you don't have any grandkids yet.
No, but it will happen.
Yeah, you've got your
so.
first one just got married,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah. Me getting old.
All right, let's take some calls. To join us, you can send us a note at questions@moneymatters.com, and we'll schedule a time for you to call us while we're in the studio. Again, questions@moneymatters.com. Or you can call 833-99-WORTH, and we'll get you scheduled that way as well. We're talking with David in California. David, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
I'm age 74,
Okay.
and I'm taking RMDs.
Okay.
I've always wanted to have more money in my Roth accounts than my regular accounts.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, am I too old now to consider Roth conversions? I'm retired.
You're absolutely not too old.
And by the way, you will eventually have more money in your Roths, assuming you continue to live to a ripe old age,
because there's no RMD.
Yeah, right.
So let's break down what's your income before RMDs and what's your income after RMDs.
Okay, so I wanted to have I'm always nervous about not having enough money. I have some nice pensions now, and I have taxable stocks to give me an income stream. So my income is from Social Security, $71,000 a year. It's me and my wife combined, so I'll give you everything combined.
Okay.
And my pensions are $152,000 a year. And then last year, my taxable stocks and bonds were $194,000. So that gives me about $417,000.
Okay.
Income. And then my RMD schedule for this year will be $116,000.
Okay. And tell me about your beneficiaries.
Okay, my beneficiary is my wife, and then my 3 kids are the secondary.
Okay, tell me about those kids. Are they in the same tax bracket as you? Lower tax bracket? Higher?
Oh, they're
tax
lower.
bracket?
They're a lower tax bracket. They're all. I have 8 grandkids, and we all live in Sacramento now, and they
great.
are in their. I actually, as I say, my baby turned 40 this year, and so I can no longer be considered middle age.
Okay.
What's the balance of your retirement accounts, your IRA and your Roth?
Let me see. The balance of where is it? Over here. So I have 2.9 million in my taxable IRA and 401k, and I have 1.5 million in my Roth IRA and 401k.
And you said 401k. Do you really have a 401k, or do So
Yes.
you have a 401k and an IRA.
Yes.
Okay. Are you still employed?
I was self-employed for years, and then I joined a company, and so I have.
I think
I have
Pat's
an
just
IRA
wondering
for
why
my-
it's not just in an IRA.
I thought about converting it over. I think the 401k was. I think it's a little, as I remember correctly, it's a little tougher to get it for lawsuits and things. So it's a little
That's
safer
right.
in the
That's
401k. I thought.
That's right. That's
all
right.
right.
That's
Okay.
how.
That's
how
your reason.
O.J.
Okay.
Simpson continued to golf in retirement. Tell me,
Yeah.
tell me what your brokerage account looks like.
The brokerage account, I have, okay, so I have, oh God, did I break it down? So,
Just
where did
the
it go?
overall account balance.
Okay, so,
Because he has 194,000 of income.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's probably
So
somewhere around $3 million.
Yeah, I have. Shoot, let me think. I broke it. I have it. Let's see. So I guess I can take it out. I have 6.3 million in mutual funds and 1.5 million in stocks, but that's counting the retirement together. I mixed it together.
And you say
300.
mutual funds, are these funds you've had for a long time that have a lot of gains built up in them?
Yeah. Along.
Okay, so you've got about.
I don't sell anything.
You've got about $4 million in your brokerage.
Are you having the dividends reinvested, or are you not?
For the retirement accounts, all the dividends are reinvested, and now for the taxable accounts are all going to cash.
All right, perfect. That's what I would recommend as well. And is your wife take an active role in managing these dollars? It sounds like you manage these
No,
yourself.
she does not.
Okay.
She does
Look,
not.
This is so ripe for financial planning. Oh my gosh, this is. Have you gifted to your children at all?
I've done gifts as down payments for houses.
But on a regular basis,
help.
are you doing the annual on a regular basis?
No. I do as needed. So
Okay, and you
one of them.
You haven't used up any part of your unified credit, I assume.
No, I've not exceeded the amount per year.
Okay.
So no.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Oh my!
The biggest issue is you've accumulated a lot of assets that you're not going to spend, and so like determining what does David and his wife need for lifestyle for them for the rest of their life, and making sure there's money for you have long-term care needs and all that other stuff, and then what's the most effective way to pass along the excess amount.
So, but your answer to your question that you called about, which is, can I do Roth conversions? The answer is yes, you can.
I would not if I were in your
I
seat.
would not. You can.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's not going to be because my stocks and bonds over the years did so much better than I anticipated, and my income was much higher than I had anticipated it would be when I retired.
And it's higher. The biggest issue.
A tough thing to be.
It's high. Well, you're in a good. Well, it didn't happen by accident, David.
Yeah.
I'm sure you had some colleagues that also had good incomes that did not save like you saved. So.
Yeah, I had a friend that when the 2008 crash got totally out of the market.
Yes.
And he's not that rich now.
No?
Yeah.
Yes.
But here's what you need to think about with it's not your tax rate so much as what's your kid's tax rate. And if they all had incomes of much greater than, I mean, not many households have incomes of $417,000, right? So it would be shocking if any of your kids had that, let alone all three, right?
No, they're not.
Yeah. So they're going to be in a lower tax bracket. So your option is take money now, pay tax at a high tax rate and a very high tax rate in California as well, or keep as much in tax deferred as possible, pass it to the kids, let them pay tax at their tax rate. And then let me take one step further. If you want some portion of your estate to go to charity, you can designate, the best thing to designate would be your taxable IRAs and 401ks and have the rest go to the family.
So if you're giving money to charity now,
that can come from your RMD
they can come from your RMDs. Right?
Yes, I didn't think about that.
Oh,
yes.
I'm just telling you, you look at this, you're 74, your net worth is over $10 million. You're financial planning like you're like it's 1973.
Yeah.
You look at this thing. I could sit down. Am I getting a little bit over the top? I could sit down in less than 10 minutes.
I know why David has not worked with, because you've done a great job on, you understand the stuff extremely well. You've done a good job. Two things to consider. One is, Pat, there's a lot of planning things that you look at.
You should be
here.
gifting some of this money from your brokerage account to these kids today.
Well, I don't know about should's a strong. You
Should.
consider.
Well, yeah. I've thought about that, but I'm a few years into retirement. I'm just nervous about what am I going to need, cost of healthcare.
Yeah, I get that. That's why I think determining
if I give it to the kids, they will probably spend it, and it will not. And then if I need help, they're going, well, sorry, Dad, we spent all that money you gave us for on useful things.
That's a lack of confidence and visibility to the future, which is causing that behavior.
That's right. Which is understandable, but doing some kind of getting to a point where you've got a extremely high degree of confidence that you'd be fine, and figuring out what that dollar amount is would be super helpful. But also having something in the wings so that should something happen to you eventually, and it will, it happens to all of us. Like there's who's going to help navigate your wife?
Yeah, if you were no longer here next week, who's going to step in and do this for your wife?
Yeah, I have one of my kids, but I think they will probably get a financial planner to do it for them, because they're not into it as
you're ready
this is
for
my
it
hobby.
Though. I'm telling David, you're ready for financial. And by the way, you know why you have so much money is because you worry about it so much. You show me someone that doesn't worry about money, I'll show you someone that doesn't have any.
It's an interesting dichotomy,
right? And that's never going to leave you. That will never leave you. But what you can do is get more clarity about what your future, so that you can start implementing financial planning tools that move as much money downstream
to wherever you want it to go. The excess, we're talking about the money you're not going to spend in your lifetime,
which is going to be a lot.
That's right.
How much are you living on a year?
Well, actually, 200K probably, or with it before taxes.
Yeah, that's why you have.
We're doing a lot of travel. We're doing a lot of traveling.
Are you traveling business class?
Yes.
Thank you.
I remember years ago, a client told me he started flying business class, and I said, "Really?" Like, he says, "Yeah. Well, it's either I will or my kids will."
Yeah, I had a friend's dad. His goal was to make enough money to never had to fly coach, and I flew coach for many years with my kids, and now I go, no. If I'm flying somewhere, it's business class.
Good for you.
I took the family to Kauai for our anniversary present.
Beautiful.
Took the whole family.
Great.
Beautiful. Great investment.
And they flew coach, and my wife and I flew up in the front of the plane.
Even better.
I've done it so many times. I have done it multiple times.
No, that's
but you're great. So the answer is,
I would not do the Roth.
Don't do the Roth.
You're in too high of a tax bracket.
Take an hour and sit down with an advisor at least, and bring the child that's going to take over,
or the wife,
or the wife that is going to take over the assets, so that you get comfortable. But you're missing a couple key things, which are easy, inexpensive, and will only push more money downstream.
But you've done a nice job in saving and investing, obviously. So appreciate the call, David. Right now we're in Illinois talking with Max. Max, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Woke up this morning. So
there we go.
Right side of the grass. Nice.
Yeah.
Best day of your life, right here. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what can we do to help?
Well, so I'm in a bit of a financial predicament, and I'm trying to figure out the best path forward. Trying to maximize income, trying to get my debts paid down, trying to get a house. My daughter's got autism. We're trying to get her a service dog. So we just got a lot of things going on, and I'm trying to develop a strategy that'll work.
Okay. How old are you?
I am 32.
And are you married?
Yes, I'm married. We have 3 kids. Our twins are 4. Our daughter is 2, and then we got a little guy on the way.
Wow, good for you.
Thank you.
And which child has? How old is the child that has autism?
2.
That would be my 4. It would be my daughter, one of the twins.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
All right. And how much do you earn?
It really depends. I work construction, and it's seasonal, and then, tariffs and stuff came in and stuff slowed down. So it really fluctuates between 65 and I'd say between 65 and 90.
And does your spouse work outside of the home?
No, she takes care of the kids in the house.
All right. So do you have a specific question for us?
Yeah, I guess. So I currently owe about $28,000 in legal debt, getting full custody of my kids. And the lawyers are coming after me really hard to pay that off immediately. And my credit score is not good. I had a business that failed, and I financed that all on my own. So there's like another $30,000 still left to pay off on that. And so I'm just trying to figure out what would be a good means to try to consolidate. Should I just throw my hands up and do bankruptcy? I'm just not too sure what route to go.
So you said that the legal debt was for custody of the children from a previous relationship, I assume.
Yeah, my twins.
Okay. And do you own any assets?
I had 4 cars. 2 of them just burnt down in a fire about a month ago. So now we got 2 cars.
And were they insured? Did you get a payout?
No.
How much money do you have in the bank?
In the bank, like $5,000 right now. I had to buy another car, so
I'd visit with a free legal service.
What's
okay.
a free legal service?
I would find a free legal service in your community that specializes in debt resolution or bankruptcy, and I'd start there.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where I'd start.
Yeah, because
this is a
at
whole
your income,
you're
going to have a hard time.
This is a hole that's really, really deep. If you didn't have the children,
or the debt,
well, that's fair. We had bacon and eggs if we had bacon and had some eggs, right?
Yeah.
I would start. I would go to a free legal. I would see if I could find a free legal. And how big is the community you live in?
Pretty large. I'm in Gurnee, Illinois, so I don't know what the population is, but it's Chicagoland area. So
Okay.
It's pretty big.
Yeah. So I would look to free legal resources and then actually give them a call and walk through and then the autistic child, degree of autism. Little.
She's level 2 autism, and then diagnosed. It's called GDD, which is just what they call learning disabled before the age of 5.
And are you getting any state or federal subsidies for your child?
No,
Or help at
somebody
all?
did tell us to apply for Social Security because I've got another probably $15,000 worth of medical debt because pretty much nobody covers developmental care.
Okay.
And so we're starting that process.
Is there any other medical debt or any other debt that you didn't mention? So you had the legal debt, the business debt, and the medical debt. So you're at 45. You're at $83,000 in debt. Yeah. I would go to a free legal. That's where I'd start.
And look into every state's different, but I'd look into see what sort of services could be available for your daughter
In terms of getting paid for care.
And my guess is Illinois has some pretty generous benefits. We're in California, which has some pretty generous benefits.
Yeah, and that's where there's resources in your community at your level of income, with the number of children that would qualify you for probably many services. And your job is actually to find those.
Yeah. Okay.
All righty.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, wish you well, Max.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. God bless.
All right, yeah, you too. That's a challenging situation he's in there, and it's interesting.
Scott, we had it when I was board chair of the Sacramento Food Bank. We had this, it was called the nonprofit, where we actually had people from 15 or 20 nonprofits. We had a lunch once a month where we'd have 3 of them just stand up during the lunch and actually tell what they did, their nonprofits and the services they offered, in order to create a referral network among the nonprofits.
I mean, it
because the services were out there, people just didn't know where to go to get them. And so introducing the other nonprofits to these different services over a multi-year period and creating these relationships between these people better serve the community.
You know what's really interesting, Pat? It is so complicated to navigate some of these services, then the population that they're trying to serve.
Yes.
Like, so my wife and I adopted 2 girls from the foster system, right? So once a year, I get a form from the state of California, or is it the county? Maybe both. Ask me, I could barely understand.
You can.
I can barely understand. College educated, business 30 some years. I have trouble with the forms. And I'm thinking, how in the world does the typical foster family, if I don't even understand some of the stuff they're trying to ask, the way the stuff's written and I think you take somebody who
it wasn't written with the consumer in mind.
Of the particular population, particularly.
That's right. They're a consumer.
Yeah.
The people that are foster.
So it's interesting.
It's a rough,
interesting prediction.
But there are many, many services in many communities, even for middle class and higher net worth, that are either free or discounted is when it comes to disabled children.
That's correct. That is correct. I have a family member with a significant disability, and I'm kind of amazed at the level of support
that they receive from the community.
I mean, there's another sibling that was paid to watch the sibling.
Yeah.
So if you in that situation, it probably takes quite a bit of work and research. But and I think what you said to Max here is like, your job is to go find these things.
Yeah, and unfortunately, bankruptcy is probably going to be the best alternative for him. So, it is what it is.
Hey, before we go to calls, we got a couple more calls coming. There's been quite a bit in press lately about private investments coming into your 401k. So the 401k allowing for things outside of publicly traded securities or interest-bearing accounts, which is what you have today, right? In 401ks.
So what would be a private security, Scott?
Well, for example, a private credit fund.
Okay.
Okay. And what this really means is, I was having this discussion the other day with a friend of mine, talking about how the private markets have filled this void that the bank could have filled.
You know, Scott, you bring up you talk a lot with your friends about this stuff. Is it the one friend that listens to you constantly, or do you have multiple friends?
It's not really a friend. It's a friend.
Is it? Are you bragging?
I pretend like I'm talking to a friend. No,
it's a chat bot.
I was having a conversation on a bike ride with a friend in the last week or so about these private markets. So we all know how banks work, right? You need to get a loan, you've got a business or whatever, you go to bank, they look at you, they loan you the money. Today, there are a lot of, let's say, medium-sized businesses that are borrowing money not from the banks, but through these third-party companies that are structured to provide this financing. So, for example, some of the KKR has entered this space. BlackRock has entered this space. And the way these things work, they are private companies that will go out and raise capital from insurance companies, endowments,
pension
foundations,
plans,
wealthy families. So they raise
sovereign wealth funds.
sovereign wealth fund. So they'll raise X amount of dollars through this, and then people have an opportunity. They'll create these
Big
loans.
big pools.
They'll create these loans to XYZ business that is maybe couldn't get traditional financing from the bank.
And many of them, those businesses are backed by what they call either venture capital or private equity.
That's correct. So it's a means to provide the financing. And the interest rates are typically fairly high because these companies, they're not publicly traded. They're not Microsoft or Apple that have great credit ratings. They're private companies themselves. So the interest rates are quite high. What we're starting to see now, though, is a push for these investment opportunities to more individual investors in 401k plans even.
So not just accredited investors, which is you can become an accredited investor if your income is over a certain level, or your net worth is over a certain level, or if you're a professional investor. You can become an accredited investor and you have access to these, with the assumption being because you're an accredited investor, you understand the risk and the rewards of that particular investment.
Yeah.
But they're trying to widen the funnel of who can invest in these.
Yeah. And so you're going to start seeing in 401k plans in the not too distant future, these opportunities to invest in private credit or private equity.
And they oftentimes will go be labeled alternatives. And the alternative is, the word alternative means alternative to the public markets.
That's right. Typically, yes.
Right.
This is an area that you need to be very careful in tipping your toe into.
Scott, I believe that the reason these alternatives, the private credit, the public private equity, have become so large is because of the regulatory environment on the public companies
and the banking institutions.
That's right.
Yeah, so all the regulation that came down after the financial crisis hamstrung the banks in a lot of different ways.
That's where the private credit came in to fill that void.
That's exactly right. I don't even know how small the private credit market was before, but I think it was pretty nascent, and now it's quite mammoth. And there are places for it in people's portfolios for private equity, private credit, other kinds of funds. There are places, but once you start seeing your 401k, I'd be kind of careful about it. Just tiptoe into it.
Correct. Especially these marketplaces that are relatively new. Because a lot of this private credit doesn't have huge histories behind it.
That's right. We haven't gone through a financial crisis.
That's right.
Or a really prolonged downturn.
So don't get enamored by the yield, because the
yields are going to look great.
They're going to look good, right? But remember, typically the higher the yield,
the greater the risk.
That's why they have to pay.
A company wants
yield.
to go borrow some money. The bank says, "Well, sorry, we can't loan it to you because you don't have any real assets to back it." So they go to the private markets, like, yeah, we can loan you the money, but it's gonna cost you 12% a year.
Yeah, and then the private credit company takes a slice of that, and then puts out the yield to you.
That's right. The company themselves, they'll take a slice, and then they'll charge a fee.
Yes,
to syndicate all this, put it all together,
and then. The idea behind distributing inside 401ks is actually to create a greater funnel. But I believe,
there's some regulatory people say, well, this is more democratization, giving people the access to these private markets. I'm like, well, how about just loosen the regulations on the public side?
And enforce the ones that were in place. Yeah. Because the problem with the financial crisis wasn't the lack of regulation. It was the lack of enforcement of the regulation.
And the government backing of all these loans.
Well, because they weren't underwriting. They weren't underwriting the loans. The government had given up underwriting the loans.
That's correct. It didn't even matter.
They didn't even follow their own guidelines. So, but the pendulum will swing. The pendulum will swing. As they loosen the regulation in the public markets will become more vibrant, and then the private markets will shrink.
Yeah.
That's just how it's going to work. I mean, this is the nature of the world.
That's right. That's not where we are today.
It's not where we're at today. But this administration has every intention of loosening up on these the regulatory environment. In many places, way too much. Way too much.
Well, I'm a huge believer in free markets. I actually, the older I get, the more I just think it's a beautiful structure because it allocates capital to the right places, assuming we all play by the rules,
We
know what the rules are. And if I sit down with my family to play a game of Monopoly, we know what are the rules behind the game. There's certain rules, and as long as we all play the rules, that's fine. Someone ends up taking Park Place and Boardwalk. I haven't played Monopoly in a decade or so, but I think most of us have played Monopoly. It's by the rules. It's the same thing with in the marketplace. Free markets work great as long as we all know what the rules and follow the rules. Know the rules and follow the rules. And to your point, enforce the rules and not ignore the rules for.
And why did you
years.
use that Monopoly? That brings back just so many bad memories.
You'd hide the $500 bill underneath, so that people think you're broke when you actually have the cash.
There was never a game that didn't end up in a fist fight with my brothers.
Okay, well, fist fight.
No, a fist fight.
A fist fight.
Because it came to the rules, and then all of a sudden
Someone's trying to cheat.
Someone's trying to cheat, and then next
think
thing you
they're
know,
cheating.
someone's throwing, and then the couple of the neighborhood kids, and
Let's talk now with Eric. Eric, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Hi, Pat and Scott. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Got a question on additional mortgage payment, and then also once I give you all the numbers, just general thoughts on kind of my wife and I's overall situation.
All right.
So not really your typical client. Don't have a lot of money. I think we started really late in life. Other than a good military pension, I think we're behind, but we're making good choices
wait,
now.
slow down, Eric. You weren't able to save a lot of money while you were in the military? Am I hearing this right? You weren't making those fat stacks?
Yeah, it's a little hard to do, but
No,
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. We get it. We
thanks,
get
my
it.
guys. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to find some extra ends there.
Oh, no kidding.
But yeah, we overcame some bad decisions. We mostly agree about the future and how to budget our money currently. Like I said, I think I know your answer because I've heard you talk many times about additional mortgage payments to other listeners, other callers. But still, just wanted your thoughts.
How old are you?
Wife and I are both 46. Oh, here we go. I'm going to try and impress you. I think I got all the numbers ready for you guys.
Okay,
All right,
perfect.
What's the
Thank you.
house worth?
All right. We're wife and I are 46. We have one adult kid out of the house.
Wow, good for you.
House is worth $770. We have a 30-year fixed mortgage. Current remaining balance is $607. Mortgage payment is $3,300 a month.
What's the interest rate?
2.125 interest rate.
2.25?
2.125.
Is that a 15-year mortgage?
30-year VA.
Wow.
That's important too,
Okay.
VA.
I was going to say that was the lowest 30-year mortgage I've ever heard.
That's incredible. All right,
Do
we know
not
the answer.
pay extra
Don't
payments on
pay
that.
a penny more on this thing. In fact, call them up and see if they'll extend it to a 60-year mortgage. Unbelievable.
Okay, that's exactly what I thought you were going to say, just because of the cost of money. And, I really am only making, over the course of these additional payments, one additional payment every year. And
I wouldn't make any additional payments. It's 2.25%. A 2.125%.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I mean, if you could borrow more money, I'd say borrow more money at 2.125%.
yeah.
If I could borrow money at 2.125%, I'd do it all day long.
If I could borrow money at 2 1/8, I'd retire.
Borrow $1 billion at 2.125%.
I'd borrow $1 billion at 2 1/8, and I'd lend it almost like banks do. It's weird.
I mean, but if let's say you want to retire at 65 or whatever the number is, and you might calculate what the balance will be at that time and say, hey, maybe we have a side fund that we set up, which this is you still wouldn't want to pay off the mortgage then,
Yeah.
but at least something so you've got the cash equivalent so you can.
Match maturities.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the next? Give us the rest of the financial situation. We'll give you a little tune up there.
All right, I appreciate it, because that's what we're trying to do, is be diverse and efficient so that we can really make headway smartly. So salary is $187. My military retirement, $4,800 a month, and our health insurance comes out of that. I get additional VA disability of $2,100 a month. Both of those have cost of living adjustments annually.
If Eric, if you talked about how you're behind on the game, if you calculated the net present value of that roughly $7,000 a month pension
and part of it tax free, it's worth millions.
Massive.
It's worth millions.
Yeah. I got 1.6 over the next 20 years.
Oh, got it. You did the math. Okay. So you get it. So when you say you're behind, you're not necessarily behind.
Well, if it wasn't for the retirement, I'd be freaking out right now. But
if I didn't, but if I had eggs, I'd have bacon and eggs. If I had bacon, it is. It is there. So okay. So $84,000 in benefits, veterans benefit, a portion of which is tax free.
Yep. 401k, 65k.
Okay.
I have a separate IRA with 18.5. I maxed it out last year, and I'll max out this year. Separate brokerage account, 28,000. High interest savings account, money market account. I got 26,000 at 4.25%. I've got 2 life insurance policies. I'm only the sole income in the house. So one through work and another one through the insurance company, totaling $3.4 million. I've got 2 car payments. One of them will be paid off in January, or I might just pay that off early. It just depends. That'll clear up some additional money to put towards retirement savings. And anything outside of that in the budget, I'm putting in about $1,900 into emergency savings account.
And what's the outstanding balance on the car?
The one car is only about $1,300. The other one still has 4 years. Still it's about like 45,000. I think.
Have you been in this ballpark salary area for the last few years?
Yeah. So I retired 3 years ago, and since then I started at a little bit less, but the last 2 years.
Okay. And what were you making before you retired?
More like 90,000 total.
Okay. So some of this you're just catching up on some things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
a lot of debt, a lot of consumer debt out of the way.
Okay, you're perfect. Look, you're perfect.
So
here's what
you're not spending all the money that's coming in now. You have been catching up on some stuff.
Yeah, my wife likes to spend all the money I got coming in, but I got to make sure to reel that in.
So what is the interest rate on the car?
The one that's left over, I think, is 2.9%. The one I have 4 years left on. I said I'm not worried about the one that only has $1,300 left.
All right.
That's over in January.
I would, if I were in your situation, I'd contribute the absolute maximum to the 401k.
And then you would
pay off the cars.
But it's 2.9%. It's fixed. So what's the point? He's earning higher than that. And then you would what, Scott? You'd convert that IRA to a Roth. And then you'd make a contribution to the IRA every year, and you convert it to the Roth.
A non-deductible. I'd convert well, he's got the 18,000.
I know, but he just put those in the last couple of years. So what you want to do is...
You guys would say that because I'll probably be in a lower income bracket when I actually retire.
No.
I don't think so.
I would talk to the advisor about when we see one for sure.
Okay,
I'm writing that down.
So what you want to do is you want to convert that existing IRA for both you and your spouse into a Roth IRA. And then you want to actually make that contribution every year and convert it the very next day. So you want to do that so that you can push as much away into savings as you can.
I mean, you are in such a different financial situation than you've been most of your life, right?
You
were married relatively young. You had a child. You've raised a child. Child's grown.
The child's a self-feeder now.
Yeah. So, I mean, your wife wants to spend, you can afford to spend some now, right? Like, you can afford to, let's do that, whatever you want to spend the money on. But as long as we're making sure that, because you're gonna get used to this lifestyle.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
I'd rather save it than spend it.
It'd probably be helpful to do some real planning and saying, if we want to retire at 60 or 65 or whatever the number is,
this is what we need to do.
Yeah. And that'll say, all right, in addition to the maximizing the 401k, do we need to save much more? How much more? But given the fact that
Your new job, will it have a pension when you retire?
No.
No, I've got the 401k and that's it. No other
Okay.
pensions through the new employer.
Okay, yeah. So you want to maximize the 401k, and then you want to make the IRA contributions non-deductible and convert them. Go ahead and convert that IRAs, both you and your spouse, immediately into a Roth. And you want to be as aggressive as you possibly
And
can.
you probably want to be saving some more.
And you probably
Otherwise, I think really running some numbers to get it.
he knows exactly. This guy's super disciplined. He's beating himself up because
Yeah,
he was
don't beat
living,
yourself up. You're in a great
He was
financial
living a
state.
little bit above your means while you were making this salary, but you're not living above your means now. You're
Maximize
living
your
below.
401k. Build up that emergency reserve. Call us in a year.
Yeah, awesome.
All right,
You're
It's
great.
Great job.
I wouldn't worry about
Great job.
anything. And you've got tons of life insurance. If something happened to you, you're taking
Yeah,
more than
good
care
job.
of it.
Make the IRA contributions, convert it to a Roth, and call us in a year, 18 months.
All right, sounds good, guys. Appreciate
sir.
the call.
Appreciate the
All
call.
right, see ya. Well, it's been great being with everybody this week as usual. And again, if you want to be a caller on our program, send us an email, questions@moneymatters.com. We'll schedule a time for you to talk. And also, please follow our show. So just hit the follow button if you get this on Apple or Spotify or wherever else
Whatever.
you get just hit the follow button if you wouldn't mind. It will certainly make sure that you get this show
Yes,
every
and
week.
we would appreciate that, and even share it with a friend.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. This has been Scott Hansen and Pat McLean of Allworth Money Matters.
This program has been brought to you by Allworth Financial, a registered investment advisory firm. Any ideas presented during this program are not intended to provide specific financial advice. You should consult your own financial advisor, tax consultant, or estate planning attorney to conduct your own due diligence.